Yo, yo, shout to Player One, shout to Demon Boy 81. I'm saying, shout to all the Nets fans. We the best fans. Yeah, let's see. Let's react to some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to react to a few things now, man. See what's happening, what's going on. The first thing I wanted to talk about is roster construction. And why the point guard, why the shooting guard, why the small forward, the power forward, why the center is the center. Different offenses and so on. But wow. Let me see. Let me see some. Let me see some. I want to show y'all something. Let's show y'all different offenses. That's offensive plays. Okay. Okay. Yo, Ice, what up, Ice?
Yo,
Yeah, what's good, Ice? Yo, shout your page out before we get to it.
y'all know where to find me. The Tip Off of Brooklyn Net podcast on YouTube. You heard, you can find me on TikTok too. Y'all know what time it is.
Yeah. Um, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the page. We had 988 subscribers. You know what I mean? Shout out to Player One, Beeman Boy. Shout to Ice. You know what I mean? Um, I just wanted to talk basketball to y'all because I don't want my channel to become a TMZ of basketball. You know, I don't want this. I want this to be predicated on basketball. So we gonna talk some basketball, man. Everybody talking about basketball. We finna talk about some basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, it's lit. It's lit. It's lit. Hold on, yeah. All right, all right. We gonna talk basketball. And we're gonna look at the players we got on the roster for because it's the roster construction part of it. And what offenses we supposed to run with the basketball players that's on our team. Right? So let's get to it. Key personnel. 1 4 quick floppy. We just going through it. We just doing the work. 1 4 quick floppy. Overview of the play. The play allows the team to get open looks on the perimeter early in an offensive possession. It sounds like Jordy Fernandez offense. This happens by running an immediate floppy out of the 1 4 set where both guards cut off screens to find open space. Okay. So if they want Diego to develop a 3 pointer, sound like something that we would run. Key personnel. This is a versatile play as every player can potentially get a shot out of it. Preferably, your 2 and 3 are good shooters. The point guard must be a good decision maker to find the open player. So my question to Ice is: you think the Brooklyn Nets with the personnel we got running the 1 4 quick floppy?
Yeah, I think it's possible to run that. I don't know if that's what they're trying to run, but yeah, with the personnel now, we got
I
an
think
offensive type style.
I think they do want to run the 1-4 quick floppy because they talk about the 2 and the 3. They're gonna look for the 2. That's Cam Thomas. They're gonna want Diego to demand to knock down the 3 pointers. You see, he was taking more 3 pointers than 2 pointers. I imagine he gonna be on the floor, and when he is on the floor, he's gonna be the point guard or the small forward. They don't want him at the 2 guard. So he'll be the 3. They want him to be a good shooter. So for him to, you know what I'm saying, knock down that shot because, they want him to be able to put the ball on the floor. Remember, with Zaire Williams, he wasn't good at putting the ball on the floor. He could shoot, but he wasn't, doing that. So I'm saying that to say that's what they're looking for, point forwards. I think they want a point forward. Diego is supposed to be a point guard and a point forward. Emphasis on the point forward. I think they really want that to happen. That's what's really good with them. Shout the quest one in the chat. So if I had to say, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. They do want to run the 1-4 quick floppy. Oh Lord, let's see. All right. So look, this is what the play look like. The one, this is the first box. Look at the first box. The one, I'm saying, squiggly, so I could go left or right. The 2 or the 3, they feel for. Look, the 4 and the 5 set screens for the 2 and the 3. The 5, the center set the screen for the 2 guard. So that would be Claxton and Cam Thomas, right? Claxton set the screen for Cam Thomas to come to the left side to get to the elbow where number 3 is. So 2 goes where not necessarily 3. They could go to the corner or they could flash to the elbow. It's same thing. But look, it's 3 screens. So it looked like this shot is for the 2 guard. So, you know what I'm saying? They trying to get the 2 guard. Like, it's fair to say that Cam Thomas is the best jump shooter on the team. Yeah, it is. Now, that's just one of the plays. So, on a quick floppy, you know what I mean? I'm trying to see if the Brooklyn Nets will run this. And I'm saying, yeah. Now, you can see this one is optional where, he could go multiple ways, but you feel what I'm saying? The point guard is essential in this play because he's the decision maker in a tight situation. He's gonna have the 4 to look for, the 5 to look for in the post, and they in the paint, so they got to get 3 seconds. So this got to be immediate. It looked like the second, the 2 and the 3, they will be the second basketball action, but contingent on the 4 and the 5 flashing to the paint for and avoiding the 3 seconds. So you put Danny Wolf or Drew Timmy in this situation if they're the 4 or the 5, they're the one in the running the pick and roll between Jaeger and Wolf or Jaeger and Drew Timmy. Yes, that's happening. But what you think though, Ice?
Yeah, they actually, that first one you showed, they ran something similar to that last year. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it looks like you're right, like some of these plays are something similar to that. And we got the personnel to run that. You know what I'm saying? Cam, MPJ, Zaire and Clowney, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they want to shoot the threes, yeah, and get layups and dunks. Like, these are the plays to do such things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Quest one in the chat. He said, I want bucket. Hold on, post it on the page. He said, I want bucket getters, man. I don't like the perfect gentleman game the Nets trying to be on. This New York ball, we are dogs and off the court. That's a fact. Quest one said, like the stream as usual. Appreciate you. So yeah, man, we here talking basketball, man. This last play, the 1-4 quick floppy, is the 2 and the 4. The 2 with the ball, looking for the 4 in the paint, the 5 flashing out to the free throw lines or the alley oop. That's what it looked like for me. The 2 got the ball, he's running the play for the 4. That's the first basketball option. The next thing is happening is the 5 is going to the rim or the free throw line for the midi. The 1 and the 3 is maybe the third, fourth basketball option, but the 1 and 2 option you got with 4 and 5. No, the 3 options you got with 2, 4 and 5. You want to go there first. 1 and 3 is the last options of the play. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm cool with it. I think they do that. You know what I'm saying. Or so yeah, I like the 1 quick floppy for the Brooklyn Nets. All right, all right. Talking basketball, man. What's good? You did a live today on TikTok.
Yeah, you already know. You already know. Staying with the live. Staying with the live on TikTok. It wasn't dropping too much, you know what I'm saying? Because we're winding down on the summer league games. And I talked about a couple folks, you know what I'm saying? Tyree Samuel again, talked about him on TikTok, and I talked about Neat Clifford on TikTok. You know what
But
I'm
so, all
saying?
right. So let me ask you this. Do you think that Sean Marks passed up on national players? For the international players, was it national players we should have looked to first
Yeah,
before the international players?
100%. I think he just passed up on. I think he just passed up on the best players available. They was national players, but I just think he passed up on like some really good players. You know what I'm saying? Just solid good
Yeah,
players that you could build a roster with. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think he did.
yeah. I'm gonna keep this on screen for right now because we just basically, you know what I'm saying. Well, what I wanted to do is show that this is a basketball channel. You know what I'm saying, you know, I just wanted to say that, and we just found a offense that the Brooklyn Nets either run already. You know what I mean? I don't know. They really never look for Claxton at the five. You know what I'm saying? But I think the new personnel could do this. I think Drew Timmy at the four and or five, and Wolf at the 4 to 5 could run this offense, the middle one. This with which personnel like you wanna do that? The 2 and the 3, since they say Trae is one of the fastest players, run that with Trae. You know, I'm not even gonna say Cam Thomas. Make Trae the 2 and make Zaire the 3. You know, Zaire has shown that he could be the 3. You got to give him minutes. And he know Jordy Fernandez system. You can't just put them rookies all there, without somebody who already know Jordy Fernandez system. We got players that was here last year that know it. You put the rookies with them. So, part of the reason why I say Cam Thomas is a good teammate for these rookies. But Zaire too, Dayron too. If Danny Wolf can learn how to rebound like Dayron, that's tough. Like,
He
is
can,
that
bro.
is that
He
possible?
he's not as I'm gonna say it like this. Danny can rebound. He can get you rebounds, but he ain't gonna battle like they run on, what I'm saying, like on the offensive board. But he can get you like the same, like 10 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 7 rebounds. He can get you rebounds like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think if they can get him to bulk up a little bit and be more physical, then I'm not saying nobody gonna be like Daron, but he'll be able to get boards a little bit easier than the way he get boards now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Diego he had said something like that too. Where he was discussing that he know where he need to work on, and he been in the gym lifting. You seen that? Did you see that?
Yeah, so he need to be in the gym more than anything else, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I think that was an improvement with Daron Sharp, Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is somebody that hit the gym too. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Daron said that Kyle Korver told him in his first rookie year, don't do nothing else but hit the gym. My dude got brolic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true. Like even in my personal life, I remember, be it quick enough, talented enough to play, but I wasn't strong enough because these guys are just physically stronger than me. You know what I mean? I had to start working out to play basketball. It's just like in my 20s.
Yeah,
Word.
facts, facts,
All right.
bro. The
Shit.
older the dudes get, the stronger they is, bro. Like, ain't no lie. Them dudes be strong as hell, bro.
Word. I said because I was jumping up, I was jumping higher than them. But that's the box out. The box out and with being in the sky, jumping with somebody mad strong, like that shit up, you know what I mean? You shake your whole foundation, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
facts.
crazy. So word,
And
I had started working out more, you know what I mean? And you gotta do that. And I
Yeah.
think that is part of professionalism, even with a Kobe Bryant, even with a Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things. It was like I was saying that about me and Leaf was going at it, and basically what I was trying to tell him is, and in the soliloquy saying that more. What I was saying was, Jared Allen always showed great shot blocking ability, but he was, you know what I mean. He ain't have a lot of weight on him, you know. And I'll go to that stat to be petty. You could look at the weight of him when he was on the Brooklyn Nets as a rookie, and just that rookie scale contract, he gained weight a little more and more, but he really gained the weight when he got to Cleveland. You could see he really hit the gym when he got to Cleveland. It looked like he got stronger when he got to Cleveland. You know what I mean? Them making him a focal point. So I just think that part of basketball is real. You know, you gotta be an athlete. And that's the conversation that I wanted to have with you too, Ice, is that fact that right now they got this thing where I'm realizing where that you can stay in the league being a professional. You don't even have to be this great athlete. As long as you're a professional, you know what I'm saying? Like certain guys, they still in the NBA and they got jobs. It's because they're professionals. You know what I'm saying? Like for whatever reason, the professional side, I won't say for whatever reason, but the professional side stands out, maybe behind closed doors. Even somebody like Jock Vaughn, when you look at his numbers, you see the numbers he did in his NBA career, you're like, how he stay in the NBA? You know what I'm saying? And it's because he's a professional. Even now, you see how he handles himself, how he conducts himself. You can see that he's around because he's a professional. It wasn't because he was so much of a athlete. You understand what I'm saying? He was definitely an athlete because he's a professional athlete. But sometimes they be more professional than athlete that could keep you around the league. And these guys, I won't say, for lack of better words, they could you know, they could work some as a different occupation outside of being an athlete in the NBA. And I think that part of what the NBA is trying to build on too, because they want to get inside personnel. So they want these players to be mature. You know, they want these players to be mature because they want to, you know what I mean, to resource in-house, you know. And when they go the other way, then, you know, you get the media getting involved and spinning all of these narratives to get attention. Not necessarily what they're saying is accurate and pure as white snow. But at the end of the day, again, I think social media gives these um you know, players a platform, and you know what I'm saying. Maybe they and you not at work, so if you engage with them while they not at work, you know what I mean. It's the off season. Cam Thomas didn't say that, and he to Zach Lowe, and he got a game the next day. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, I started thinking about players like I know I'm ranting. But I'm gonna get to my point. There's players like DeMarcus Cousins. You know, early in the NBA, you could see getting to, you know what I'm saying, kerfuffles, I guess, for lack of better words. I mean, hold on, Ice. But how you feel about that?
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's not only the athleticism, the skill, but if you have IQ, if you have coaching ability, if you understand things that other people can't understand, if you can talk better than folks, like you're saying, there's other avenues after basketball, and if you build relationships, or you know what I'm saying, like yeah, you got to build relationships, and they got to see the other side other than being an athlete, that you can do other things, then yeah, you can keep a job. You can get a job. See Kyle Korver on coaching. They thought Jock Vaughn, like you said, Jock Vaughn went back to coaching. So they think other people like that, JJ Redick, you know what I'm saying, smart enough, IQ, talk, did his play. He wasn't a real athlete like that, but you know what I'm saying, IQ, they thought he had the ability to coach, and now he coaching. So there's plenty of things in the NBA you can get to, and you keep it professional and build relationships. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? Guys
Yeah,
got to,
no, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm with you. Or give me a second. But yeah, nah, that's what I was trying to say, bro. is that the fact that you don't have to be this great athlete to stay around, you know what I mean? And it shows that these players are conscious. Like even Vince Carter, you know what I'm saying? Even somebody like Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, you listen to him, he always professional. He always, you know what I mean? Saying stuff like that reflects on the front office in a good light. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys. And he spoke highly on the Brooklyn Nets at a press conference. You seen that? Did you see that?
Nah, I didn't see that.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try to pull up the content. Um, where hold on, let me throw the link in the chat real quick. But yeah, man, the professionalism side of basketball, it mean a lot to the NBA. I can see, you know what I'm saying? You know, the paradigm of social media, it's interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because I do think that these players are looking at it like that too. Like they could get a, you know what I mean, work inside the NBA when they done being an athlete. You know, I think some of them they starting to aspire to that. You know, the podcast world done changed a lot of their opinions. You know what I'm saying? They kind of players is getting the bag off of that too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you
facts.
know, I see the professionalism stepping up because of the NIL. It's not called that in the NBA, but you know, name and likeness. You know what I'm saying? People get to know your character. Even a person like Ocho Cinco in football, it wasn't just about him catching the ball. It was his character, the dancing, you know what I mean, the theatrics that came with Ocho Cinco, and just everything about him and embodying what it is to be a wide receiver, not just, you know what I'm saying, catching the ball like a robot, but the whole persona around it, you know what I mean? And I think that's what they want. They want personalities, big personalities, you know what I'm saying? Um, and you know, that's just the professionalism part, you know what I mean? But you know, I think the media got a job to do too, you know what I'm saying? They gotta put themselves in situations where they, you know what I mean? Uh, you know, professional too. You know, sometimes they could be out of pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big personalities is everything right now. Big personality could take you a long way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if you in the G League, I'm just letting y'all know. Even if you in the G, you got a big personality. It could take you a long way. You know what I'm saying? Personality open up markets. You know what I'm saying? Avenues for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Um, 12 17, funny. He said Cam Thomas could weigh 300 pounds and still get you efficient 24 a game. Star Traffic said we have never seen a more manipulative player and political operator like LeBron James. Yeah, yo, Star Traffic. This comment is wild. He said, "Yeah, man, this shit is different, man. There's like I said, I was on a show. I was like, yo, LeBron is never leaving the NBA. Never. He's never leaving the NBA. He's gonna go and you know what I'm saying, expand with a team or be in some way or form and fashion part of the NBA. You know, and I think that it makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
And locked
And
in forever. He locked
yeah.
in.
You say what?
I said LeBron locked in forever.
Forever, ever, forever, ever. Even his son. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that, you know what I mean, you could tell he's gonna stay in the NBA too. He's really professional. You know, his pops are telling him like, yo, this is the ins and outs, the, you know what I'm saying, the P's and Q's and all of that, you know. So I just take notice of certain things, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is a dope comment. Star Traffic. Uh Player one said LeBron could play the 45, no joke. Oh, Darby 17 said, not saying it was professional, but you can't hold what he tweeted against him. All these sources and insiders just parroting each other. And our boys got a right to defend himself. That's a fact. Or I think if Cam Thomas didn't defend himself, he would have heard all of these things that go against him getting the money that he want. You know what I mean? And then there's the fans that'll say something. But the fact that he said something and now they hear the fans after that, and then you know what I'm saying? We just keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? They said what they said one time and we keep talking about it. So that gives Cam Thomas the momentum. You know what I mean? Because as fans, we not letting it go. You know what I mean? He done stirred up a hornet's nest. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at it for what it is. I just think that, at the end of the day, once we get past this, I could explain why it makes sense for Cam Thomas to stay on his team because he'd be a great teammate. Even just one for a quick floppy. You know what I'm saying? You could easily implement Cam Thomas. I just said Nolan Troyore just to talk about other players on the team. But it's true, you can put Nolan Troyore there. He's the fastest one on the team, especially the first play. He's the fastest one. They're gonna set 3 picks for you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put you in a situation where you could get the ball and either you could pump fake and get to the rim, or you could take that three because it's gonna be there since you got 3 picks. And if you did not free, which you should be, but if you not free, then you know what I'm saying. Somebody is. Is the point guard get the attack? You know what I mean, so you could. You know what I mean? See what's going on from there, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm glad Cam Thomas defended himself, man. Cam Thomas could easily run that play. You know what I'm saying? Easily.
Yeah, I think the media should know by now that they partially still run, you know what I'm saying, what's being said, but they gotta understand by now. One of these dudes go on a podcast and really tell the truth about things. How phony they be looking at times, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why most of us don't even watch like ESPN or nothing like that, because it ain't the real news, you know what I'm saying? Like before that was the only news, you know what I mean? Now it's not the only news. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their hands on their phone, everybody got contacts with somebody podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell the stories afterwards. You find out what really happened sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the player perspective, so they got to know that comes, you know what I'm saying, after they pause, after they say some wild shit.
All right, hold on, Ice. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Players got a loud voice right now. Players got a hell of a voice right now. Podcasts everywhere. You know what I'm saying, from players to the fans, people who know how to speak ball, you know what I'm saying, and analyze things from a distance. You know what I'm saying? You might not always get it right as a fan, but when they get on there and talk, y'all know what time it is. And then, you know what I'm saying, your Zach Lowe's and your Stephen A's, and especially like somebody like Skip. yo, they be looking wild crazy. You know what I'm saying? You be like, why am I listening to this dude, man? Like, seeing him saying TV and it ain't all what it is. I know Zach Lowe got a podcast, but you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's the reason why you stop listening to these folks, though. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they ain't hoop, especially if they wasn't in the NBA, they wasn't in the NFL. You know what I mean? They just be looking terrible after you find out what the real deal is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, CT spoke up for himself. He tired. He in a bad situation. He ain't really got no leverage. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, most of the stuff he said was true though. I just think he ain't been given a good team. So if
Who,
he could lead
who,
the
who
team.
ain't been giving a good team? Who you talking about?
Cam. I was just rambling on Cam, saying he ain't have a good team to show if he can carry a team or not. You know what I'm saying? He's just in a bad situation. Yeah, no, Zach Lowe. Partially what Zach Lowe said wasn't true. You know what I mean? You don't think Zach Lowe saying anything that's not true? Thing that's not true. It is though. You know what I'm saying? Like shot chucker. Man, you know what I'm saying? Shot chucker is not. He can't be called a shot chucker if there's nobody else to really score. You know what I mean? And we seen him move the ball, starting to move the ball this season when he had the time. You know what I'm saying? When he got it, he moved the ball a little bit more than he usually do on the Jordy Fernandez. You know what I mean? So I think when you call him a shot chucker, and like you go check the stats and see that he actually, you know what I'm saying, had some games where he made some passes, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, that his game started to grow. When do you cut off the shot chucker? When does that stop? If he's improving on something, does that label stick on him or does it change? You know what I mean? Like when is that when or is that what you see him as no matter what? You know what I mean? So he's trying to get that name off him as a shot chucker, you know what I'm saying? And all he do is ball hog. He's trying to get rid of that label because that label will cost you some funds as well. You know what I mean?
But
So
let's run it. Hold on. PT on the panel. Shout to Ice for holding it down. PT on the panel too, and I'll just pass it to PT after I say this. I'm gonna go to the two guards and see who's the assist leaders in the two guards because they talking about him like he a point guard that chop. He's a two guard. He's supposed to shoot the ball. It's shooting guard. That's the name of the position. But PT, what up, PT?
What up, Breezy? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yo, I was saying that's the realest stuff ever. Cause you was on a plane, you was on a plane with you. You was listening to your content. Did you watch it back? Did you watch the
Nah,
replay?
nah.
Shit is funny as hell. We listening to you the whole time. Now, I'm back in my mind. I know it's gonna happen because I know you know what I'm saying. You on a plane, so duh, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was dope though, man. I was like, yo, PT with that's Nets fans in the clouds. Nets fans is everywhere. Uh,
yo,
what
yo,
up though,
Breezy.
man?
Yo,
You home?
Breezy. Yeah, I'm home, but you, Breezy, you got to chill out. Cam Thomas not going nowhere, man. He
Yeah,
not going.
man.
He not going nowhere. He's going through what every regular guy goes through when you were expecting a certain amount of money, but are going to have to end up settling for a different kind of money. Yo, Cam really thought he was gonna get 30 mil, and he should have, based off of yesterday's price. You know what I'm saying? And he could be
Yeah,
mad. He could be mad at Sean Marks. He could be mad at Zach Lowe, but that's not who did this. It's the top end players in the NBA. You see, they're getting their money. Chet 55 million per. SGA 70 plus million per. You see, everybody who is supposed to get their money is getting their money, but the top end of the NBA is getting their money. The middle and the bottom is getting fucked. You look at what Dayron got, and he had to
right.
take it. It was like Dayron and Zaire was like, yo, either y'all gonna take this, or we're gonna just keep it moving. And they
12
took it.
2 years, 12 million or something like that. 2 years, 14
Yeah,
million, something like that. Yeah.
yeah. In a normal market, they getting like 10, 15. This is a different game. And of course, Cam Thomas is mad. I'd be mad as fuck too. No
Yeah,
doubt. No
yeah,
doubt
but
about it. It's the
what is it?
reality is
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
who are the Nets bidding against, Breezy?
Themselves, if you ask me.
That's exactly.
You know what I'm
It's
saying? My thing, and the reason why I say that is because if you're gonna invest in draft picks, the draft picks are watching what you're doing with the other draft picks. You seen free agents get paid, regardless if the Brooklyn Nets are taking on the contract or
But
just outright paying them. Cam Johnson
you
was here for 1 year and got 100 million.
you want to know?
Cam
You
like
want to know? You want to know
Cam
what?
Johnson came was Cam Johnson a bigger impact on the Brooklyn Nets than Cam
That's a
Thomas?
bag
Get
fumble.
market.
You can't. Sean Marks fumbled the bag with Cam Johnson. He didn't get anything for Cam Johnson. He got zero for Cam Johnson. Zero. That's how horrible of a bag fumble that was. He got he got a first round pick to take MPJ's contract, not for Cam Johnson. Didn't nobody want Cam Johnson? You know why nobody wanted Cam Johnson? That contract. No one wants to carry money. So imagine now you're signing your free agents. Of course you like it's not just Cam Thomas, Breezy, it's Giddy. Look what's happened to Giddy. Look what's happened to Kaminga. This is the new NBA reality. That yo,
But
it's
that's
just
that's what I'm saying. My thing is you don't have to pay Kaminga. Why would you want to give Kaminga a bigger contract than you would give Cam Thomas just because what the market? At the end of the day, my thing is Kaminga didn't do nothing spectacular over there in the Golden
they're
State
not gonna pay
Warriors.
Kaminga. Like
Then yeah, this is
Kaminga's
what
not
I'm
even
saying.
on their
Like
mind.
that's good to know because you know what I mean. These are the shenanigans that I hear on
Nah,
X
Breezy, you don't
on
have to
Twitter.
worry about no Kaminga. You don't have to worry about no Josh Giddy. They're not coming over here. The Nets is gonna stand pat with their player. If anything, if they were even thinking about trading him, they're not trading him now.
Mm,
They're gonna see how it looked together. They're gonna see who's real, who's not real. They
Yeah.
mm.
they don't the Nets don't have no reason, zero strategic reason to be in a rush right now.
Let me ask you
You
something,
know,
Parker. I seen something today. It says that out of those um uh, uh Cam Thomas, Giddy, Kaminga, and the dude, I can't remember the dude name on the 76ers. If one of those gets
Quentin
signed,
Grimes.
yeah, Quentin Grimes. If one of those get a contract first, it's gonna set the market for the rest, basically.
yeah,
Whatever they get first, that everything trickle down after that.
it's really
Mhm,
whichever player blinks first, because the offers are pretty much the same. And that's
mm.
and that's where the NBA is dirty. You know they're colluding on this shit too.
Right, but see, this is why I shied away from the business side of it. But I want to hear more of it. I did more listening than talking on the business side, and just hearing you guys and how things are panning out for these players and whatnot. I was more focused on what I'm saying, whether or not these Cam Thomas was a good teammate for the rookies. You feel what I
That's not
mean?
even
That's
up. That's not even up for debate. That's not a
yeah.
part of the conversation at all. The part of Cam Cam Thomas is the starter. Cam Thomas makes the game easier for everybody on the team. All of that is unequivocal facts. I think Sean Marks, if he was on this chat with us right now, he would admit the same thing. The
Mm,
thing is, with a new CBA where the math is being done. Like I just found out, I didn't even know. I thought it was this year that everything got activated because it didn't feel like they were playing under those rules the last 2 years. But come to find out, since 2023, these has been the rules. I think it's just now that it's hitting them like, oh shit, like if you make a wrong move, you're screwed. Look, Breezy,
yeah,
why do you think the Bucks paid every dollar of the 111 million that
Dame.
what's Dame was owed? They had to get that money off the books.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like they couldn't let that shit ride another 2 years where they're in the tax. Now they're in the penalty. That's like 500, 600 mil.
But see, what I wanted to say about just contrasting the franchises. As a franchise, you got to put the best situation around your best player, or your best player is going to leave. I'm pretty sure Giannis got a lot of impact on what the front office do and don't do. So when they act surprised on social media, but I laugh. I think me and this player laugh at the same time. I don't think that all superstars know what's going on, but for the most part, yeah, they do. Like DeMarcus Cousins probably really didn't know he was getting traded. You know what I'm saying? Certain things happen. You're like, wow, that was kind of crazy. Mike Brown getting fired. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
How
I
much
just
was
think that
LeBron
certain
contract?
I just think. Hold on. I just laying the play. I just think certain franchises, uh, well, to be a winning franchise, you got to know what players to invest in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
no, definitely. It's all of those things is true. It's just they're setting what the market value is, and they're letting someone else decide. At some point, someone is gonna blink and give these dudes a contract. Now, do the Nets believe that Cam should get more or less than these dudes? I don't know. I think the contracts are going to be terms are going to be so good that they'd be happy to give Cam 18 mil, 16 mil. It's just Cam was expecting 30 mil. And
mhm.
until that reality sinks in, they're not really going to be on the same page, but eventually, when it's getting closer to training camp, everybody going to just start signing.
Yeah.
That's just how this
Um.
works. He's not
Yeah.
going nowhere, Breezy.
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up. I appreciate that. Another thing I wanted to have a conversation about is I was watching Gil Arena, and I'll put the content up real quick so that way we could recap it. And they're just talking about expansion teams, and the early prequel to what I wanted to my soliloquy is. Yeah, I just feel like the teams that the Brooklyn Nets got overlooked. The Miami Heat is an expansion team, came after the Brooklyn Nets, and you know what I'm saying. They got big draft picks. You know what I'm saying, and that I'm just saying. You know what I mean. Toronto, another team came after the Nets, big draft picks. There's expansion teams that came after the Nets, and they keep talking about expansion teams, but they looking over the Nets while they doing that. I don't like that. Yeah, now y'all gave the from Vancouver to Memphis. Y'all gave the more lottery picks to the Memphis Grizzlies than y'all did to the Nets. I'm not bugging. I'm not bugging, man. They gotta do us right, man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't complaining that we got Diego. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just contrasting how the league has been, you know, uh, uh, generous to these other teams. You know what I'm saying? And, I think they could do better by the Nets. That's all. Hold on real quick. Let me see something real quick.
Hopefully they had a chance this year.
Yeah.
You get Cam Boozer and your whole organization change.
Well,
It's like Tim Duncan type shit.
Yeah, facts. They was talking about that on TikTok today. They think Cam Boozer is the one. You know what I mean? They think he's that guy, bro.
He goes number one overall if Duke wins a national championship. And I like it just looks like that's what he's about to do. Cause I've seen him win everything that a high school player could win. AAU, EYBL, state championship, back to back with his brother. And I think that shit is gonna continue on. He's gonna get a championship at Duke, and hopefully the Nets draft him and bring the first championship to Brooklyn. God, good lord! If we get that dude, you get the team that gets that dude wins. You know how the Spurs were gonna win championships anyway. The Spurs have what is it 4, 6 championships in that period? How many championships did they get
They
out
got
of this?
five. The Spurs got five
Five.
championships.
Five out of Tim Duncan, right? Imagine you looking at a player and you know they're gonna give you three championships. Tim Duncan gave you five championships. I would
So
say three of them was on the back of Tim Duncan, and the two extra ones they got was because they were a good organization that was able to stretch that out. You know,
yeah, yeah, yo,
Eh,
me again, man. I got an interview coming up with a coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning about, the whole process between the transition in high school to college. I got certain fans, you know what I'm saying, like Ice that are great scouts. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm again listening more than talking, but learning for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to this interview. You know what I'm saying?
did,
I gotta fix my laptop mic. I might get a whole new mic.
Breezy,
So
did
I
you
might
watch EYBL
try
today?
to improve the studio. What'd you say?
Did I had posted it on Twitter earlier. The EYBL tournament
Oh no, I
quarterfinals.
didn't see it.
They had the Oakland Soldiers with Tyran Stokes and Jason Crow. My goodness, the talent galore. They had Team Mello out there. You got to see it. You got to see young Mello's son. Um, you got to see Baba Tunde, my my next new wing player. Like, the reasons why I like Ace Bailey, the same reason why I like Baba. Baba had a rough game for Team Durant, but um, it was good. Like, these are the games where I start forming opinions about these players and then start putting them in tiers in my mind. I don't. I didn't tell y'all last year, like, because it was at the end. I started coming on your show like August, right? But I had already seen all the games. I had already started having an opinion on Ace Bailey, on Cooper Flag, etc., etc. Now I'm forming opinions on players who's going to get drafted in 2027. Tyran Stokes is like Charles Barkley reborn with a 3-pointer and a midi. Like, have you ever seen him, Breezy?
Breeze probably in the back getting the chopped cheese, bro. I
Yo,
seen,
have you seen him before, Ice?
yeah, I seen Tyron Stokes. I seen AJ talk about him. Say once he get downhill, can't nobody stop that dude from scoring at all. It's like impossible. So Tyron Stokes is nice.
Yeah, he's the bowling ball. He's the prototypical power forward. Has wing abilities, strong. He's young too. Like, he's not even going to college this year. He's going to college next year.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy work.
yeah,
Crazy.
so this kid is nice, man. This kid is nice, but I don't know why so many scouts sleep on Jason Crow. I think Jason Crow is only second to to uh Peterson.
You
That's
think so?
Yo, he's so nasty. He gave him a smooth 36. I don't know what happened or what kind of crazy AAU form of tournament rules, but they didn't beat Team Tad. You know what Tad that is. That's the Tad that was on the Nets. It's his team. What's his name again? Taddy's Young.
Oh,
Tad
that is
Young.
young. Yeah, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that is young.
Yeah, Daddy is young. He played for the 76ers in the Nets.
Yeah, his team. It was his team against the Oakland Warriors, and then did I say Oakland Warriors?
Yeah, you
Anyway, yo, but Jason Crow, Ice, I'm telling you, The same way we talking about Peterson, we're gonna be talking about this kid. He's not as big as Peterson, but he, yo, my favorite point guard of all of this draft, of next year's draft, and I saw him give AJ DeBance's team 42. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But it's super early to be talking about them because next year is really about the Holy Trinity and some of these players around them, Caleb Wilson, Nate Met,
Yeah,
like they got this this draft coming up is it's more top heavy, but it's still like this
nice
draft
though.
doesn't have guys like Hanson Yang that you could get at 16. Like, yo, I'm
No.
starting to become a Hanson Yang believer, man.
Oh, are you now? Yo,
Cause you know me, I gotta see it. I have to see it. I'm not gonna believe the hype. He was over in China. I'm like, yo, if you in China, you're supposed to score 40 a game if you're gonna be in the NBA. But yo, you know what I like about him the most? His personalities. In Vegas, I was standing like where the tunnel is, where the players was coming out, and they were waiting for the game before them to finish to come out to warm up. And Hanson Yang just in there joking and everybody's laughing with him. I'm like, yo, when have you ever seen like a kid from China getting along so well with like black kids from America? Like they understand each other. And I realized, yo, these dudes watch streamers. They know everything of American culture. They have the internet. They're not they're not privy of it's not like they don't see everything that everybody here see. And so he's a good teammate, good leader. Like he's a he's one of them. Seriously, like I'm shocked, yo. And
yeah.
my whole seeing it live in Vegas. Oh my God, it's like you thinking to yourself like, how did China make their own Shangoon? That's how good
Yo,
he is. Yeah, like how did they do this? This is
the
the
Nets are
future.
trying to get him, bro. I sent Dylan this thing I seen on TikTok saying the Nets at 19 they was going to take him if he was still
Yeah,
on the board. You know what
yeah.
I'm
I would have
saying?
been mad too. I would have been mad as fuck and probably wrong. I would have been mad and wrong. But you know, the the good thing about picking a player like Hanson is it's almost easier for the Nets. I'm glad the Nets didn't get him, even though I really like the player. I'm glad that because it would have been some bullshit. They would have been like, "Oh, it was Joe Tsai, Joe Tsai drafting his people."
Oh
It'd
yeah,
have been
yeah.
some bullshit.
But nah, he nice.
He
On
he could
TikTok,
play.
he might be live on TikTok. They said in a few years, they almost guarantee he gonna take Donovan Clean job, bro, as a
Listen,
starter.
listen, Ice. I'm take my word for it. I saw it in real life. He looked no okay. You know how Derek Queen had a excellent tournament. Derek Queen had a better tournament than Yang, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah. Facts.
I
Yeah.
watched Derek Queen live and I saw Yang live, and I'm like, shit, the NBA is just gonna start producing bigs like this now. This is just what it is now. Like Jokic fucked up the game.
They're
Like,
not getting overlooked being slow no more.
no, they could play a certain kind of way. They have their way of playing. But Yang is fast though. Yang is faster than Derek Queen. Derek Queen, once he plant his feet, you can't move him. That's the thing that I saw live in Derek Queen that I would have never have known unless I was sitting there 4 rows up. Just at first it was just like Jeremiah Fears. I love the way they're developing Jeremiah Fears. You're the
Facts.
point guard. Here's the ball. You are our floor general. Show me what you could do. And that's exactly what he did. He went out there. They were setting picks for him. He was diving in the basket. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like when defense collapsed on him, he's hitting Eve Missy with a lob and shit. Like, yo, that's what I feel like they didn't do with our point guard,
No,
Nolan Traore. They didn't give him the ball. Like, you are the guy. Here's here's the playbook, and and
make it happen.
here's a list of things that you need to fix or need
Yeah,
to work on before you come in training camp.
yeah, but that's what I was saying too. I'm listening to y'all. But that's that Cam Thompson, his summer league was taking 20
It's
shots a game. Jaeger, none of these players, Danny Wolf, none of these players was taking 20 shots a game, let alone 10 shots a game. And then
nope.
they was play then and they was play and they was low managing them. Yo, I was tight. And I mean, yeah, I get the back to back, but come on, bro.
Yeah, that
You
made no
gotta you
sense. But
gotta
even
do
the
it.
back to back, they're teenagers. You load balancing in teenagers, you setting them up to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Play them. Let them play. Let them be kids. Let them run out there. Let them play 2 games in a row. Shit. What that's not gonna hurt them. What's hurting them is all this, like, because really, it really, with all this load balancing, all 10 years of Sean Marks, tell me where it's benefited the Nets. All our
No,
players is always hurt when it matters.
yeah, nah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think sometimes the science of basketball is staying in the rhythm of it. Like, you can't just stop and go. Sometimes you gotta go, 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 then stop. And I ain't saying you should do that for injury, but you know what I'm saying? But you gotta find some kind of balance. But sometimes the stop and go, just trying to manage it, you putting your body through a heavy process, like extreme processes within 24 hours, 48 hours, you know.
Look,
And
look what everybody said about Tibbs. They
extreme
said they
processes.
said they said that Tibbs was overplaying the players. His players lasted in the playoffs more than most people, and all of them had history of being hurt, and they didn't even get hurt under Tibbs. Tibbs just played them like your basketball players play. I'm not saying do it to that extreme, but I think that's kind of proof that all this load management is not working really.
Yeah, but I think more importantly with the Knicks where it went bad, and I watched the ship sink slow. It was like, bro, these players are not going to be efficient because they're not 100% because they ain't get the rest. And I ain't talking about a day's rest. I'm talking about bench rest. Like, I think that's more what it is. Players, coaches got to do a better job of when to call timeouts and really when to sub players. You know what I'm saying? If you see this player, he ain't get the ball in 5 plays, but he running up and down, back and forth. You can see that he getting winded or he mentally out of the game. You got to be careful. You start running the wrong way, you could tweak some, pull some. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to be out there knowing how to play basketball. Like, basketball is one of the most skilled. It's a skilled sport, bro. Like, you got to be skilled, bro.
Yeah, I heard somebody say as well. I think it was an NBA player. Could have been a football player, but I think it was an NBA player saying once they body go through a certain amount of bumps and bruises, they're not going to get like no massages because the body's building up like calluses to get tougher. And y'all go get massages, you know what I'm saying, and loosen it all back up. You know what I'm saying, get soft tissue tears and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, like you saying the more you play, the more your body get used to that type of, you know what I'm saying, that type of style. Y'all running all the time, doing all that, your body is going to adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
when you start getting massage and start taking breaks, your body is like, all right, let me relax. You know what I'm saying? Well, and mess your body up like that.
I think that at the end of the day, sometime being too competitive, you could go the wrong way because you'll play through injuries you're not supposed to play through. I think that part of it is true too. I think the self assessment, like the whole thing with Penny Hardaway, when I heard how he got injured, that was one of the most terrible stories I ever heard.
No,
Word.
fact.
He said a
What's
play. Did
what's the
you?
story?
that's like he had. I'll try to pull up the content. He was like, yeah, I was playing and somebody kneed me in the back of my leg, I guess in his hamstring, and it affected his knee in a type of way. And he never went to the doctor about it in this off season, and he played basketball the whole off season. Um, and it just basically
Got worse.
it would, yeah, it got worse, and when he actually got to, you know what I'm saying, get it assessed by a doctor, you know what I mean, his diagnosis wasn't, you know what I mean, it wasn't good, you
And
know
then
what I
he
mean.
like, I forget what it was in his knee. He had tore something in his knee, and then he was, you know what I'm saying, just thinking he could deal with it, and it got to the point where he couldn't walk on it. You know what I'm saying? Had a little surgery, and then it never his leg was never the same. And then he was saying like people kept saying like the same thing they said about Ben, like you ain't trying to play no more, you getting lazy type shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't love the game no more. He's like people don't realize I was only on one leg. You know what I'm saying? For most of the
Yeah,
end towards the end of my career, I was only on one leg. I couldn't do nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? And he spoke about that being like one of the first, you know what I'm saying, to deal with something like that.
I think I found the content. Oh, let me see. Yeah, here you go. He explained it. All right, I gotcha. And then, I'm saying that to say, like, yeah, as a fan, I don't want to see you play through injuries depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I done played through injuries. So if I done played it's an injury that I had personally, I'll be wanting you to play through that. Now I ain't gonna hold you. Trying to play through a sprained ankle is crazy. It's
Crazy work.
like, cause all you're gonna do is re-aggravate it, cause your ankle is gonna be strong as long as it could be strong. It ain't that much muscle there. It's tissue there, tendon there. Like it's just a bunch of delicate stuff there. Like you gotta be careful with your ankle, bro. And I don't expect the player to play. But if you got but you know what be happening? They be having shit like bruised ribs because they be trying to rebound. Niggas be mad strong in the paint, but they be trying to play through them bruised ribs. But I'm saying that to say, if you're not careful in the beginning of it, those lingering injuries can have a long term effect. Um, I said all that to say that. But
Yeah, I think the Nets just should try something new out of the fact that what they've been doing hasn't been working, and they just gotta trust the players. Let these kids play, man.
mhm.
Nobody's got any serious injuries. Nobody's got any horrible history. Let these kids play. I think the more you just get in the way of that, it just stunts their development. Most of what basketball is playing the game. You know,
Yeah,
IQ. IQ. That's what it is. In
absolutely
NBA, development is your
chemistry.
IQ on the court. Yes.
You
yeah.
know,
I think like what made up for me. It was stuff that I didn't do on the basketball court, and I'm contrasting this to the Brooklyn Nets. Is being vocal. I was vocal on defense. You know what I mean? Pick, screen, screen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm communicating. You know what I mean?
you know
So
who's like that?
there you go.
Yegor.
Yeah, that's why I said that to say that me and him we like the same player. You know what I mean? I don't know if me and him got the same passing ability. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Diego. I think he's gonna be a player I like because the vocal part of it, and I think that's a big part of basketball, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the offense, I kind of want you to be a little more deceptive. Kind of know the offensive plays without yelling it out because I mean, shit, the defense is listening. You know what I mean? But on the defensive side of the ball, I think if he's starting like that in the summer league, I think it is an attribute that don't show up in the box score. But if you're watching basketball, you can see that. I'm saying that's a quality that's gonna have him be successful in his first season. It's not gonna take long to see that because if he not only gonna rely on being the offensive playmaker but also a defensive playmaker, that's what I want to see. I want to see Diego lock the perimeter up. You 6'8". Don't let none of these guards get
Six
no
nine.
6'9". Don't Diego, like, don't lock him up, man.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? They should. You should. The defense should be suffocating. Or you know what I'm saying? I
you know
think
who's
that's
gonna
what I
lock
want to
people
see
up?
more than anything from Diego, for real.
You know who's gonna be our defensive linchpin? Drake Powell.
See, him and him together. That's our defensive backcourt. You know what I'm saying? But why you
You know
say Drake Powell?
he he's the best defender in the draft. His That's an opinion.
Yeah,
That's an
because I heard
opinion,
Carter
right?
Bryant was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. Carter Bryant and Drake Powell both went to the same combine and got measured. Drake Powell was the best athlete at that combine. Drake Powell measurables are off the charts. Off the charts. And even at UNC where they used him wrong, he was the best defender on that UNC team. So
Okay.
it's all like fast twitch muscle right now,
For a long
but
time,
he's a high IQ ball player too. He does
yeah,
everything.
for a long time, I think the Brooklyn Nets got penalized not being able to defend the 3-point line. You know, I feel like a lot of teams got their shit off right at the 3-point line, or whether it was 30 feet, they was running a lot of basketball actions from the 3-point line. And whether that be because, as a team, we wouldn't commit to closing out at the 3-point line and defending it and jumping it and contesting it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that got to change. You know what I mean? But I said all that to say, if we got Diego and Drake Powell there, you know what I'm saying? That behooves the Brooklyn Nets because, far as being a defense, I think starting at the perimeter is important. We've been getting scorched at that 3-point line for too damn long. If
So
Diego and Drake Powell could change that, I'm like I said, I'm a big fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a fan of them too.
yeah, so everybody's seen VJ's vertical at the combine, and Drake Powell has a higher vertical than VJ. So that tells you what type of athletes. Because everybody's like, "Yo, VJ got," you know what I'm saying? He athletic, super. But then you
Yeah.
got Drake Powell, who's more athletic than he is. You know what I mean? It's crazy,
Right.
and they ain't even
And
show his vert like that. But he got
not
it like
not even
VJ.
just the jumping though. It's the shuttle run, the agility drills,
Hmm.
the 20-yard dash. Like they he beat them in everything. You know what I'm saying? He was like top five, top seven in everything. And that's unheard of. That's unheard of. He's different, yo.
Yeah, Grant Hill overplayed his ankle, bro. That ruined him forever. He couldn't even get back. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even get back to his regular self at all. But yeah, playing through injuries is tough. But yeah, now Drake Powell, yeah, his athletic is wild. IQ high, defense high, 26 steals, 25. Well, yeah, 26 blocks, 25 steals at UNC.
He's blocking shots with both hands at the same time.
It's crazy work, right?
He's grabbing layups off the glass,
Yeah, that's the shit.
snatching it out the air.
Ace was doing in high school. You know what I mean, he doing that in college.
Yeah, he's different, yo. He's different. I'm excited about. I just don't want them to mess him up. Like I don't believe in that philosophy of you gotta earn it. Nah, y'all gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan for the people. You gotta project where these players are going so they could get used to their roles. You know, there's no reason why to do this earning shit. I just play your squad. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think, Ice.
Nah, you draft him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta figure out what to do with them. You know what I'm saying? I tell you to come to my job, and then I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? You guys fight for your position. Like, bro, why you calling me over here? Then? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
put me to work.
But
You know what I'm saying?
hold on, I just wanted to say like the Brooklyn Nets, they do got a good system from the Long Island Nets to the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying Drew Timmy should have got a contract. Keon Johnson should have got a contract. The players that they called up, Tyrese Martin, all of these players that they called up last year, when we look back and revisit, should they have got a contract because they were playing great basketball? Yes. Yes. For what you want from a G League player, for him to earn minutes with the Brooklyn Nets, did Drew Timmy do that? Yes. Did all of these different players from the G League do that? They have become I won't say a farm system. I won't go that far, but the transition from the G League to what I'm saying to the Brooklyn Nets is making sense. Y'all mentioning Tyrese Samuel, he makes sense too. You know what I mean? Like I'm just paying attention to what they do with the talent, and then they having the rookies. I don't think they were wrong for Derek Whitehead. I think Derek Whitehead should have got a lot of G League minutes. I don't think he was ready for the Brooklyn Nets. You feel what I'm saying? I think they kind of doing right by Derek Whitehead in his career. They're not putting him in a bad situation where his value get lowered. They keeping him in the G League until he can actually, what I'm saying, be NBA ready. And they did that as a project because they got him as a rookie from Duke, and he was supposed to have went higher, but he got injured. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
So the Brooklyn Nets, they doing good. I just think they gotta, do right by Cam Thomas, but there's things that they could get right. I think to y'all's point earlier about Derek Queen and him being injured and Oren playing that in the chat, yeah, bro. I think these top three picks, they're gonna get either the same amount of minutes as Diego Demin, or Diego Demin gonna get a lot of minutes. I don't see why the Brooklyn Nets, as far as rookies is concerned, not gonna give our players a lot of minutes. I'm talking heavy minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like more than the like lottery pick minutes. Even like Danny Wolf, who taking minutes from him? Noah Clowney, and even if he is, you still putting Danny Wolf in that rotation. You still putting Danny. You're not giving him the opportunity because you got Clowney and Deron. Now let's keep it real. Stealth wise, we don't know how healthy Noah Clowney going to be based on what we seen last year. You know what I'm saying? I think that these rookies are going to get 25 to 35 minutes a game. Do you think that's a stretch? Me saying that 25 to 35 minutes a game?
Nah, I think that's about right. That's what it needs to be. If Jordy probably plays in like 15 minutes, but I think what you're talking about is where they need to be. It's just Jordy's gonna try to win for real. He's gonna try hard to win. So you're gonna see a lot of MPJ.
That's
You're gonna
going to
see a
look
lot
at
of
it.
clashing.
But hold on, can we talk? Can we talk about what the like? See these podcasts, they got players coming up there having they talking about how they really feel. Don't you,
Mhm.
and from your perspective and what y'all know about, because y'all talk about high school and players, and my thing is their relationship with the coach. I think, and I said all that in my soliloquy to say that I think around the league, the players want to play for Jordy Fernandez. I think he's going to be one of those coaches where he's respected. You know, he's going to have a good rapport. And let's not forget the elephant in the room next season is Mike Brown used to coach for the Sacramento Kings and as a head coach, and he was the assistant coach on the Kings. He came to Brooklyn first. He got to New York first. And now Mike Brown is across the river. I just think that's an interesting paradigm because you can see that Jordy Fernandez, quote unquote, has less talent than the Knicks, quote unquote, right? But case in point, watch that. Watch the contrast on how Jordy Fernandez coaches and watch how Mike Brown coaches. That's going to be an interesting paradigm. Watch.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I'm about to call it a night.
Oh,
Talk to
yeah.
y'all. Yo,
All right.
Breezy, trust me. Cam Thomas will be at Nets training camp with a new
Nah, I trust
contract,
it.
and he's going nowhere. So you don't have to stress. You don't have to compare him. You don't have to make eight. Look, this isn't about talent. If it was about talent, he would have got his 30 mil and everything would have just went straight. But this is about business, and you know what I'm saying. Like it's not just Cam Thomas. It's everybody in that tier. Kuminga, uh, Giddy. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
just relax. It's almost August. It's not gonna be long. It's gonna get signed. Everybody gonna be all kumbaya again, and then we'll have something else to be outraged about. But it won't be this. Cam is coming back.
I appreciate that.
All
That's a
right.
vote of confidence I could believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, I'm not touchy feely about the subject. I keep it real. Like I analyze the situation, and that's just I'm. It's foolproof. He's not walking out the door. Trust me. Trust me on that. All right,
All
fellas.
right.
Peace.
All
All
right.
right. All right. Peace. All right. Shout out to PT for joining the panel. You know what I'm saying? Probably somewhere in the clouds, somewhere in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? PT all around. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ice. Um, I wanted to get into some content with Ice for us to react to. First we're gonna get into this thing with Penny. Then I got some other stuff we could react to. But hold up, there we go. Let's see. Let me make sure the volume is on.
Came out of the corner, man, and just slammed. He tried to box me in, and his knee hit me like right, like solid in the back of my knee. And I was like, man, that didn't feel good. I think I tore it at that point, but I kept playing. Finished that series, finished the next two series, and then lost. After the season was over with, man, I took like 2 days off. Go home, hoop the whole summer. I didn't take but 2 days off after that playoffs and just hooped the whole summer. Got back to training camp and was like, hey, man, my legs still kind of mess up in the area. Got an MRI, had a torn meniscus, hooped with it the whole summer, took 2 days off only, didn't take no time off, had to have surgery. After the surgery was over with, I came back probably maybe a week or two early, just anxious because I ain't never had no surgeries. I'm a hooper, I want to play. Played, didn't never feel right. Bro, went back in that thing about 4 months later, had to have another surgery. Tore it again, like in another area. I don't know if I damaged it that summer that I only took 2 days off and they only saw one area, and then another area was happening. And then as I started playing more, it just kind of formed. And from that point on, bro, I was just struggling, just trying to get back healthy because I kept coming back too soon. So eventually I get traded to Phoenix, got to have another surgery. I ended up having 6 knee surgeries on this one knee. It took my quad out. My quad never got strong again after that. And from that point on, bro, I was just trying to scrap it together and not, I was never strong enough after that. And that's what ended my career. We're playing Detroit in the playoffs. And I go up to get a rebound, and Joe Dumars came out of the corner, man, and just slammed. He tried to box me in, and his knee hit me like right, like solid in the back of my knee. And I was like, man, that didn't feel good. I think I tore it at that point.
Yeah, so for one, that's unfortunate. I think because of this injury, we, you know what I mean, didn't see some of the more exciting. When you think about an exciting basketball player, I think of Penny Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? So I think his career was short lived because of that. So real talk, I really did want to see. You know what I'm saying? Penny Hardaway play more basketball. And I really didn't want to see him get traded from Orlando. Orlando, I think that was an expansion team. They just did the Blue Chips movie. It was a whole fucking movie. Case in point is he was the real thing. You know what I'm saying? He could really hoop. He was fucking nice. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to say that you know, one part that I missed and so I just heard just now is he did get it checked out. He didn't just go into the summertime and not get it checked out. But the elephant in the room is him only taking 2 days off in the summer. You know what I'm saying? If you're a hooper in the summer, that means you ain't even probably playing in the gym. You probably playing in the park. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying too much because I don't know. But at the end of the day, if and who knows how long and what kind of conditions and what was a foul, they ain't calling foul. They playing in the summertime. So yeah, man. But Ice, we gonna go around the panel. We got Leaf and Easy on the panel. But we gonna go to Ice. Ice, how you feel about this?
It
Should
ain't
we just
good,
recap?
man. It ain't good because Ben did the same thing, and Michael Porter Jr. did the same exact thing. They came back too early rushing it, and all three of them had to have surgery. It's just crazy. He had six. You know what I mean? Like, yo, Penny Hardaway had six surgeries to the point where they had to take part of his quad out to fix his knee. That is wild crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I say again, when people talk about Ben, they talk about MPJ and other people that get hurt like that and say they don't love the game no more. You want to say Penny Hardaway don't love the game. That shows you how bad an injury messes with your career when people only can see you for your superstardom or the level of play you was at and don't understand that the injury, not just mental, but the injury is taking away everything that you love from the game that you are able to, you know what I'm saying, accomplish. And you can't do it no more. And it shows and they just think you trash after that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not giving
Yeah,
effort. They gotta understand the injury is serious.
yeah. I would say more, but we're gonna go around the panel. Leaf, you want to react to this?
Yeah, I had no idea about what Penny was going through, bro, during that time. I mean, this had to be what after what I want to say 95, 96, give around that time, late 90s, give or take. I mean, for at least 2 years in the league, bro, he might have been the best point guard in the league. I mean, like outside of what the competition was, what Stockton and Gary Payton probably, but he might have been the best point guard in the league. For him to go through what he went through, and I ain't gonna lie, only having 2 years off in the summertime, that's
He
crazy.
got he got the green light from Jordan before Kobe.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
supposed to be that
yeah,
guy,
he
and then
did.
he got injured. So
Yeah,
that
he
was good.
did. He did, and Grant Hill also talked about what the injury after like 99, 2000 did to his confidence. You know, because like it was at a point where he knew he was a top five player in the league, and he talked about how what that injury did to his confidence. It's crazy, bro. Like because we talk about some of the biggest what ifs. Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway might have been at the top of that list, man. By the time the '90s was over,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we talking about two players, bro. Like, had injuries not even touched them, we talking about at like they probably would have gone on to had the careers that Russell Westbrook and James Harden would have had, bar no championships, bro. Like this, these are the type of talents that they were. Grant Hill was damn near LeBron, bro. Like in the '90s, bro. I ain't gonna bullshit you, bro. Like I listen, what he was doing was out of this world. But I mean, him,
More,
I f-
more, more. What y'all? I want y'all to listen to. I want to easy to react to. Is that because he was injured is part of the reason why the Orlando Magic wanted to trade him. Because you think about what Penny was to the Orlando Magic, ain't no reason for them to trade Penny Hardaway, bro. It's the fact that he got injured and they just, you see what I mean? Sometimes you, and I said that to say, sometimes it's smart for franchises to stick with a player like they doing with Halliburton right now. They're not finna to trade Halliburton because he injured for a year. Dude, the GM jumped out and said, "Yeah, we keeping Halliburton. Like we gonna let him rest a whole year, and we keeping him." And I'm saying that in contrast to Penny, is that Orlando could have did the same thing. You know, they could have did right by Penny. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Leaf, and then pass it to Easy.
yeah, definitely. The Halliburton situation a little bit different because they already inked him for I think like a 200 200 mil for four something for 3 or 4 years or something like that. I think the Penny situation, bro, like when in the '90s, it was basically like, yo, you kind of got to fend for yourself, especially with injuries like that. So, like the injuries that took place in the '90s, we got to remember, bro. Like it started off the decade with I want to say Dominique had Achilles and came back and dropped 30. Isaiah had Achilles and retired. Uh, Penny had what he had, and basically, bro, like it never got right again. And Grant Hill was fortunate to play more years, but he played more years as a role player, and his star days was like over, at the snap of a finger, just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that during that time, nobody really knew, like the surgeons and the doctors and even the players didn't really knew what they was dealing with these injuries, man. I think it was just the awareness of it.
That's overall really what it was, bro. Like I think if they had the awareness of it that they had now, I think Penny easily would have played more years and probably would have been on that same level as players as the trajectory he would have been on. He probably would have stayed on that trajectory at
Yeah,
least a little bit.
yeah, nah, facts. Just tell them where they can find you, then pass it to Easy.
Yeah, youtube.com/ at Lee4788. I need to get my computer situation straight, but I'm gonna be back on this fall, man, for all the shit, man, for sure.
All right, all right. Yo, Easy, you there?
Stop cheese, you there?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right.
Let me
Yeah,
grab
but
this over real quick.
or I don't know if he want to react to this, but you know, I just wanted to say I'm not one of those content creators that think players wasn't great because they didn't win a championship. I think some players' career was short lived because injuries. And to Leaf's point, yeah, Grant Hill is one of them. You know, my favorite player was Brandon Roy, though. You know, I had like Brandon Roy because he got to the midi, you know what I'm saying? And he was fast as hell. Like he didn't really do
How could I forget
it quick.
about Brandon Roy, man? Damn.
He wasn't like somebody that was like had an Allen Iverson crossover, but he was
He
just
was
so
skilled.
quick though. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like I
was
don't feel
skilled,
like
bro.
he was one move that he had. He was really fluent. You know,
Absolutely.
Brandon Roy. If there was a player that I would describe as fluent, is Brandon Roy. I'll probably go to Fluent and Chill and tell Fluent that, but that's who pretty much I think was one of the more fluent players that could have had a way better career. And that's another thing too that people don't understand that I'll be trying to say about the Brooklyn Nets. When you think about the Portland Trailblazers, their draft capital has always been nice. Like they've always had high draft capital. They got Brandon Roy, they had Greg Oden, they had Aldridge. You know what I'm saying? They did just look think about the Portland Trailblazers draft capital. Contrast that to the Brooklyn Nets draft capital, and that's what I'll be saying. And we was talking about expansion teams and how you know what I mean. They came to the league and won championships for them before the Nets. Toronto, Miami. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, and we the last team out the ABA that didn't win a championship. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not wrong for feeling the way I feel. I'm a Nets fan. I'm supposed to feel this way. You know, I want us to win the championship. It's like all these other teams win the championships. I want us to build something. I think we could do it. Do I think Jaeger could be like Penny? Let's slow it down.
All the
Let's
way.
slow it down. Hold on. CMB, he said address me. What you say? He said, Breezy, address me. MPG will carry us to the championship. Carry us? Help us? Yeah. Excuse me. Carry us? I don't know. But I don't wanna focal on who. It's more of the championship. It don't matter how we win the championship. I just want to win it, and I want to win. It do matter. I don't want to win it because the refs cheat for us. I want to win because we just better than the opponents. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, yeah, man, I feel like the Brooklyn Nets is building something. I don't know how vital CMB is going to be. I mean, not CMB. What's his name? Michael Porter Jr. is going to be, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I'm not going to take anything away from his game. I just want to see him play. You know what I mean?
Yo, did he just compare Diego to Penny? I just
Nah,
looked at.
Nah, we didn't do
nah,
that.
Okay,
nah.
okay, okay. I'm
I
just
don't
asking.
expect. I said I don't expect Diego to be Penny, even though I didn't because I didn't want to piggyback off of them almost being the same height. But you know what I'm saying? Give it time. And again, if you easy, listen to Diego, bro. He's very vocal about his game and very vocal about what he needs to do as a player to become a better basketball player. You know what I mean? Very conscious. So, so yeah, nah, we wasn't doing that, but
But I
I
told
was,
y'all niggas that, and you was like, nah, we need shot creators. We need niggas that can put the ball into the basket right the fuck now. What the fuck going on? So what gave this change of heart right here?
what?
What gave the change of heart? I was telling you the same shit. You like, nah, we need niggas that could put the ball into the basket. Right now, we need shot creators. Now you got it sound like a change of heart. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, no. All right, so that's the show. The title of the show is roster construction, bro. And it's roster construction, bro. You don't need all of one thing. You know, you need, you know what I'm saying, shot creators, you know what I mean, playmakers. You need it all. You know, I'm not trying to pigeonhole it into one thing. You know, hold on. Shout out to Denver Sports. First time I seen you in the chats, man. Subscribe to the page, man. You gotta know Nets fans is the best fans. But shout out to Denver Sports. He said you guys won the trade. Cam sucks, and it always hurt. You got first round pick. You got MPJ. Who is KD?
That is a fact. We got a first round
Y'all feel like that?
unprotected.
Yeah. Oh, let's go to easy. Easy. You feel like that? You feel like we won the trade between MPJ and Cam Johnson? All right. Well, I don't know.
Uh, Denver
Easy,
won. Denver won more.
easy. We
Denver
got a
won
first
more.
round unprotected, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Denver opened more cap space for themselves to bring in more players to keep Jokic championship window open. That's more for W for them instead of for us. Yeah, we got a first round pick out of it, but they opened up their championship window a little bit more further, alleviating that cap space for them. So I'll give it to Denver a little bit.
So would you
All
give it
right.
to Denver for now, and then like see what happens with the unprotected later?
Well, the only way I'm gonna say if it's a outright failure, if like I'll say like the next season or the season after that as well. Like Denver don't even make it out the first round, then I could say like it's a failure because you open up that cap space and that shit didn't do shit for you. But right now,
Uh,
as we stand right now, they open up cap space, allowed them to get Bruce Brown and shit like that.
yeah.
But if they kept MPJ on the fucking team, it would just been MPJ, no Bruce Brown, no Tim Hardaway Jr., no none of that shit. So it kept a championship window open for a little while, but if they don't make it out the second round, then yeah.
I feel like we won the trade because I feel like Denver. Everything that Denver has done already on a championship level, bro. Like I think it's gonna be harder for them to duplicate, even though they did open that all up. Even though they did got all them pieces back and they did get more depth. Um, like if we really want to be honest, everything about them has come down to these game sevens. I mean, game seven with Minnesota 2 years ago, game seven with whatchamacallit last year. I like they're in battles, you know what I'm saying? And
If you think
they
about
went
their history, it's just been about Game Seven. Just think about the Jokic
yeah.
history. It's just been
It's
about
it's
Game
it's it's
Seven.
been about game yeah, it has been about game seven. Like if you it like to be honest with you, the game sevens like they've been to a lot of game sevens, but they haven't won a lot of game sevens, bro. Like you could go all the way back to the bubble, with when Joker and Jamal Murray first started showing out. Jamal Murray first started showing out in the bubble, and then during that time when Jamal Murray was hurt, bro, like it was basically the same old song. They can't get out of second round because Joker's basically like the lone wolf and the sitting duck in the West. But like I feel like in the West, bro, like you gotta have all your ducks in order, like basically like all in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at the teams that came out of the West, they had everything in order. Everything came down to a long term health and long term health throughout their playoff run. You know what I'm saying? Go look at any team that came out of the West in the last 7 years, bro. Like that's what it's been. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel like we won this trade because it's gonna be no matter what Denver has done, they roll to a championship is gonna get even harder because the West is getting even tougher. That's just me.
I mean, you could say their road is harder, but like either way, their road is tougher. Either any way you chop it. I can hear
Right.
your point about the injury, but at the same time, luck played a little factor into it. But for Denver case, like they knew that like their path was hard regardless. Like they, if anything, they saying they are the path because they just went against the so-called best team in the league. They took them to Game Seven, and if they main nigga don't get hurt, then that's a whole different series in this conversation we might be having right now. So right now at this point, you have credibility to say that, but at the same time, they could look at it and be like, nah. We should be the champs, if anything. So they championship window is still open. You could say it's tough, but it was tough from the beginning. They just knew what it was.
That's true, but I mean, if we going off that same logic about the Aaron Gordon situation, then
Hold
Indiana definitely got something to say about that. So I mean, but
hold on. Let's go to
Indiana for a
ice.
fact has something to say about that. For a fact.
Uh,
But their main player popped his fucking Achilles. My fault. My
that's
fault.
true.
no, I just wanted to hear ice on this. What would you think about MPJ and Cam Johnson? Who do you think we want to trade?
Bro, I think again, I'm gonna state these facts again. Them dudes is twins, bro. You know what I mean? They do slightly things different. The dudes is twins. Ain't nobody win nothing. You traded one player with a higher contract, one player with a lower contract that do damn near the exact same thing. And I'm just letting it be known the internet thinks Cam Johnson is better than MPJ. I know fans is saying that they think MPJ is better. But the world is saying Cam Johnson is better than MPJ. I just think they're the same dude that do things slightly different. That's what I'm saying. I don't think nobody won anything.
Hmm.
I th-
But
I think MPJ
let's
is a way better player than
let's let's let's
CJ.
be let's be honest about what MPJ was next to Jokic. Now, obviously, he couldn't toggle one and two option with Jokic. That's fair to say, right?
I say number three. I sometimes number three and number four because you had Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, everybody's saying, "Oh, he's just automatically the number one option." But let's slow it down. Let's just talk about what he was with Denver Nuggets. Like, okay, he wasn't toggling Jokic with the one or two option. Even with Jokic off the floor, is he the number one option? Which Jokic was on the floor a lot, but with Jokic off the floor, who? Okay, what does the roster have to look like in Denver for him to be the number one option? And I just think there's a lot of things that has to happen for that to happen. And because I feel like what we saying is that he was a solid three, and if he had to go to the third option or the fourth option or the second option, you probably put him at what? I'm asking. That's not a statement. I'm just asking.
In order for that to happen, you need like Joker has to be not on the floor. Jamal Murray has to not be on the floor, and Aaron Gordon has to not be on the floor. Like I mean, if you look at the past couple of years, the second that they got Aaron Gordon, bro, like he became like literally the third option. He became the guy that had the guard. He became the best defender on a team. Obviously, he was the guy that you put on the LeBrons, the Jimmy Butlers, the KDs and they run. He was the guy that was getting put in the dunk box, getting more the easier buckets, bro. He was the guy. If Joker wasn't taking a rebound and pushing the break, he was because he could do a little bit of everything. Everybody know that from watching him on Orlando. He
Mhm.
was like MPJ was. Don't get me wrong, MPJ. He did show out in some games, man, for sure, for sure. But his role was delegated to the number four because of his injury history. He had a much more steeper injury history uh, um than Aaron Gordon, and obviously more than Joker because Joker was like that the head honcho.
Twins.
Once Jamal Murray came back, bro, he was right in that number two spot because him and the pick and roll with him and Joker was that fluent because they were that great. They wasn't just that great shot creators. They were they were that good of shot makers. They could make
Mhm.
the shit that they was hitting during that run. If you go back to that championship run, some of the shit that they was doing, bro, like I don't think they could duplicate again.
My thing is with the because I had pulled it up before you and Easy pulled up. You know what I'm saying? We was talking basketball, because I didn't want to make light of the situation with me and Leaf and Easy or X. Like I said, that shit ain't really content to me, man. I don't be on no TMZ shit. But again, shit happened. We real niggas, know what I mean? But I was more focused on this part of it because I'm trying with the personnel we got. I'm thinking what offenses we could run. Since we talking about MPJ, I'm just thinking about where he fits in this role because I didn't even include him in the conversation. I had Danny Wolf at the four or Drew Timmy at the four. Him and Wolf getting minutes. I want to see Timmy and Wolf more than, and I forgot about MPJ to keep it all the way real with you. But MPJ, I could see him. Excuse me. Yeah, he could set the screen. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him to be that physical, and he's 6'10". So yeah, you get your 6'10" ass. Should be right here in the paint. You should be right close to the paint. Set the pick by the paint and they be there for rebounding. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that got to change too. Just because you can shoot the three, use your height. Height is part of it too. You know what I'm saying? You 6'10". That's why I'm putting you over there. Like, yeah, I know you can shoot the three, but hold it down. You know what I mean? So yeah, he could run that first floppy play. The second one where he come into the paint, do we want him to be able to curl and look for the one to look for him as the one option? Yes. Yes, you 6'10". We should be able to pass it in the paint. You could hit that little floater. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't your job because Jokic was there, but you should be able to do that. You feel what I mean? Diego should be able to run the pick and roll with you. You feel what I'm saying? You should be a number one option on this play. Again, like I said, this is what was it called? The old floppy or some shit like that. But funny enough, um, you know, I heard Easy said I take medication, and that's funny too because I don't take medication, or you know what I'm saying, at all. But the thing with MPJ and running these two plays, yeah, that's possible. And then this play right here is with the 2 and the 4. The two Cam Thomas, in my opinion, can he run it for the way he looking for MPJ in the post? Hell yeah. You looking for MPJ at the rim? Hell yeah. Cam Thomas could get to the rim, the midi or the three. So you gotta play him up close. If you don't, you're gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? So that will put MPJ in a one-on-one situation in the paint. You 6'10". You got that advantage. You definitely should be able to capitalize, you know what I mean, off of this offensive scheme. That's how I feel about you know, MPJ fitting in this offense. So yeah, is there offenses that he could fit in with the Brooklyn Nets off the immediate? Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, how y'all feel about that? With MPJ fitting
Uh,
in this offense?
I say these. Well, first off, these plays look very interesting. The one you had with the 2 and the 4, I think that will work a lot better with Cam Thomas and Danny Wolf because Danny Wolf already has the skill set to play out of the post and to play the three level type of offense. You know what I'm saying? Like to be out of the post, he already a great passer, and I think Danny Wolf will work in that set very very well. Like I feel like in half court sets, I think he's gonna be phenomenal. Just off of his skill set, his ability to dribble, shoot, and pass. Um, the
What
fact
about
that we could,
Easy? That's because there's not much time left. I close out at 2. I'm finna clip the show up. I
yeah.
wanted to ask Easy and go to Ice 2 because you know what I mean. He's a new player on our team, and these are all predictions. We don't know, you know what I mean. But I want to hear what everybody going to say. Easy, what do you think MPJ fit in this offense right here? This hold on, I got the name right here. What's it called? The 1-4 quick floppy. Word.
I mean, a floppy play for a shooter always gonna work out because you send the screen for him, he gonna get open. It's a fake drag. NBA come up with a lot of different names for a lot of shit. A floppy and a drag, kind of the same thing. But so if we go roll with the flop, yeah, that's gonna work with them. My thing is though, you're not gonna know what this offense really is until we get to it. I forgot who said it on one of the previous streams, but when the season started last year, we had different players on the team, and then we cut it down. So this year, we're not starting with those same players. We don't got Dennis Schroeder. We don't got DFS. Cam Johnson's not on the team. We got a new player in front of him. So it's not like he know what offense they're about to run. And the coach might change up the
But
offense
all
at the
right,
same
so
time.
just slowing it down. When we had Cam Johnson, a lot of plays that he used to get was pin downs. He used to go to the pretty much run, be at the elbow, run to the paint, get a bunch of picks, free up at the top of the 3-point line, and curl and knock that shit down. Is MPJ doing that? I don't know. Then there was plays where they would find Cam Johnson on the elbow and he would pump fake and try to shot create. He was okay doing that, I guess. But I think the strength that I seen from Cam Johnson is that curl, that pin down curl. He was he was killing that shit, bro. His
I mean,
percentage was like, I don't know. They at one point in the season like 60%. Cam Johnson at the top of the 3-point line was knocking that shit down. So I'm saying that to say, do we run the same play for MPJ? Do we want MPJ running around like that? No. Cam Johnson is about 6'8", 6'7", some shit like that. I don't think I want a 6'10" guy running the same exact plays. To Ice's point, because Ice said they're the same exact player. Even if they are the same exact player, Ice, you can't run the same exact plays because one player is like 6'8" and another player is like 6'10". You know what I'm saying? It got to be different, bro.
And with that being
Where's
said, you're gonna see some new shit from MPJ this year. He even talked about it, so you're
I
gonna
think
see
he's
some
gonna
shit from
surprise
MPJ.
people.
You're gonna see some shit. I don't know how it's gonna look, and I ain't gonna put a number on it. But you're gonna see some shit. You're gonna have conversations like, oh shit, was he getting held back in Denver and all that other bullshit? But yo, my boy about to
hey,
put on
bro?
a
So
show.
that's real shit. But those are good conversations because you got players having their own testimony. You got Andrew Wiggins say, "I'm glad I left the Wolves because I couldn't do other things outside the store, and I wasn't valued because I wasn't just scoring the ball. They was just looking for me to be a high scorer, and I could do other things. And with basketball, I could bring other things to basketball. So yeah, it is about that. That's a real conversation, not just from the fans, but from the players themselves. You know what I'm saying? Being able to actually showcase what they actually want to do and can do.
Uh, that's
Wow.
true. That's definitely true. And I agree with with Easy to a point, but the backdrop with all of those conversations is that he won a championship with Denver. So I'm not even here to see what he can and cannot. Like I already know what he can do.
Yeah,
It
but what
really
I'm
it
saying
really
is
just depends on the
we
lineups,
got
really.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We talking about him as a number 4 option. You feel what I mean? Like these plays, even Mikal Bridges. Like Mikal Bridges, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me again. You know what I'm saying? Mikal Bridges, he came here, he played those games. Y'all see me jump out and say him and Cam Johnson could be a top 10. It was because of those 26 games. I was confident and I'm big optimism. So you know what I mean? And I still take the heat from it, you know what I'm saying, till this day. But at the end of the day, that's why I'm not, how you say, that's why I'm shy to saying that they will and won't. This is why I'm going to the actual plays. Like, yo, what plays they really gonna draw for MPJ? I'm interested. But again, I don't want to be long winded because Ice on the panel. He didn't get a chance
Yeah,
to
nice.
say nothing about that. What was it about MPJ? Like, yeah, I was kind of going not against what you're saying, but I was disagreeing. Ice, like, I think they run different plays for him. You know what I mean? But you think they run the same plays for MPJ they did for Cam Johnson?
They style of plays ain't always similar. You know what I'm saying? Because Cam had to do it differently from we didn't have a Joker, so you know what I'm saying. The style of play is different, but he could run some plays like that. But to Easy's point, he gonna have to show me the money. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna have to every see the thing about guys leaving teams after playing a certain position for a while, right? They're adjusted to that style of play, being a 4, like they say, like Breezy said with Mikal. He showed out for a bit, he leveled out after that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how much more you think you're going to get from MPJ. You know what I'm saying? I watch film. I've been watching. Every time I watch him and Cam Johnson, I just see the same dude, except for like MPJ slashes to the lane a little bit more, or he get put back.
Rebounds a little bit more,
Yeah, but
dribbles a little bit more, creates a little bit
he
more,
don't really create a
passes
little
a
bit
little bit
more. But
more.
like everything else is besides the
So
rebounding,
so
driving,
who better
everything
off
else
the
is the
who better off
same.
the bounce? Who's better off the bounce between Cam
That's
Johnson and
that's
MPJ?
obviously MPJ.
MPJ.
Okay, that helps because listen, what I'm saying is there's nobody that occupied the space that Jokic did on the Nets. There's nobody that's doing that. I like Wolf, but I don't think he occupies that same space that a Jokic can. I don't think he demands that from the defense. And I'm only saying that
As a
to say
passer, I
that
think Danny Wolf can demand
what
that
what
right out of the gate.
right, but hopefully. But what I'm saying about MPJ is I want him to be in the paint more because you don't have a Jokic there dominating the way they run the offense. You should just play having basketball plays for you ran above the 3-point line. Hypothetically, if the Denver Nuggets was running, I don't know, let's say 10 basketball actions for MPJ,
He asking the man to
and they was
dance. That's what he
they
asking.
was giving him, let's say, 7 basketball actions above the 3-point line because Jokic was inside the 3-point line. If they running 10 plays for him this season, I want to see it more even. It got to be like 5-5 or even 6-4 in the paint. Like show me the midi, develop the midi. You 6'10", bro. If MPJ they tell you there's gonna be some new shit, then make that new. Make the midi run the city with the midi. You know what I'm saying? See if you could do that. If he could do that, that should be dope because the defenses know they're gonna have to respect him. And if you got a now and you create spacing, you know what I mean? That's the just thinking about roster construction and not just roster construction, just the lineups. Like
Right.
who's supposed to be on the floor together? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it
Nah.
MPJ? I got Yegor 1, Cam Thomas 2, 3. I got Zaire Williams over what I'm saying, Terrence Mann. I'm not giving Terrence Mann Zaire Williams minutes just like that. And then I got Wolf. I wanna see Wolf, Let make sure Clowney healthy enough to start. I'll put Wolf there if he healthy. Facts. And at 5,
So you bringing MPJ off the bench?
MPJ, yeah, put Wolf and MPJ. Wolf had them interchangeable. We trying to get into next year's
Yeah,
draft anyway.
bro.
That ain't
Come on now,
happening.
bro. Come on now,
I'm
bro.
I like the idea offensively. I mean, I don't mind it. I think Clowney.
That's a
We
lineup in
hold on.
game, bro, that you want to experiment with, bro. You're not starting to get, bro. You not,
So
bro.
it's just
You
starting
are
5.
not you are not starting the game with MPJ on the bench, bro. You
You
not
sure ain't?
I
you
didn't have
you
him on the bench. I had him at the
that's a
4.
line
Nah,
Or
lineup
the
you
5.
experiment with. He just asked if you
the
if you
four
bringing
to
MPJ off the
five.
bench, and you said yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
I said Zaire Williams at the 3. I put Wolf at the 4, but he could play the 5 and he could put MPJ at the 4.
You're not playing Wolf at the five. You're not playing Wolf at the five. You're not
Wolf
playing
at
him at the
Wolf at the
five.
five. Wolf at the five with Davron and Claxton on this
Bro,
roster.
y'all
I
trying to
highly
put a
doubt that.
6'10". You want he gotta play power forward. You a grown man, bro. You supposed to play power forward. You 6'10", bro. Like stop it, bro. You gotta
Not
you gotta play the 4, bro.
Breeze. I think the problem that we having is that we have power forwards already occupying that position. He's really a small forward because he ain't like
This
the
skill set
years.
is a small forward.
His skill set is a small forward, yes, but the reason why is not just because of his skill set, because of his injury history, bro. Like he ain't gonna be able to bang and do all the physical shit at the four because he just came off a shoulder injury, bro. That's
Yeah.
why. That's just so we got to keep that in
Okay.
mind. So that shit is occupied for Clowney and Danny Wolf, bro. Like like we already know who our fours and our fives are. Like the 3 spot, he's gonna have to do almost exactly what Cam Johnson did at that 3 spot. If he plays, don't get me wrong.
But hold
That's
on. I just wanted to go to easy, but to just let's. I want to. That's okay. You don't like that starting 5? What's your starting 5? We go around the pin. Let's start with easy, but go ahead, easy. What's your starting 5? Then we go to Leaf and Ice. Go ahead.
I don't know the lineup. I don't know the roster for the year.
Okay. All right. So Leaf, if without with just knowing what you know what I'm saying. What would you want the starting lineup to look like?
Yegor, CT, MPJ. Most likely. I want to say most likely Clowney because I don't think Danny Wolf is a starter yet, and probably Clax. I mean, I'll be
That's
honest
solid.
with you, bro. I would want Danny Wolf to start at the four, but I don't think Danny Wolf is ready to be a starter yet.
Yeah, that's solid. That's solid. What you got? What you got on this Ice?
Same, it's almost the same as Leaf, but I'm not sure. It's between Clowney and Zaire as the 4. You know what I'm saying? One of them is interchangeable, but that's basically what Leaf said. I agree with that. Claxton at the center, Jaguar at the
Mm-hmm.
1, Karen at the 2, MPJ at the 3, and then whoever at the 4.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with Leaf too. I think you got to start Claxton. You just gave him a
Zaire
contract.
kind of lighting the ass and would be at the four, bro. I don't know about that,
Nah,
bro.
Now
I would never put Zaire at
wait,
the
hold
4.
on,
That's criminal.
You can
hold
play
on.
him at the 4 sometimes.
You trust
Yeah, you
that
could. Yeah,
handle
I
at the
don't like
one?
him
you
at
could
the
get
4.
away with it every now and
Wait,
again, but like you, that's not something that you want to show on the like the scouting report. All right, yo, they bring the lineups in, bro. Like
Hell
yo,
no.
he at the
wait, hold
four.
on, hold
Nah,
on, hold on. You trust that handle at the one? You trust that
watch
handle at the one?
And we
Who,
drafted
Diego?
him to trust that handle at the
what
one.
Jaeger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro,
No,
he gotta give his bumps and bruises, bro. You gotta
no, no, no,
learn,
no,
bro. You
no,
the
no.
point guard.
I
You
trust him
trust
as
that?
a rebound and a pass at the one. I don't trust him trust him as a main bringing up
You
the
trust
ball
him?
point.
So what? He not bringing up the ball then? He the point guard,
Bro,
so
my
what?
Listen,
my
nah,
eighth pick gotta start, bro.
CT and MPJ probably gonna bring up the ball in most cases, bro. But I mean, like the thing
So you put
is,
the 6'9", 6'10" nigga at point guard, but you don't let him bring up the rock and see the court.
I mean, no, 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 no. I'm not
Nah, he
saying
started
nah.
for me.
He's gonna have those responsibilities, bro. But I don't want him to,
And that's what
depending
I'm
on.
saying. You trust that handle? You trust that?
I
No,
mean,
bro, he the eighth
No, no,
pick,
no, no,
bro.
no.
We
I'm not.
drafted him.
I'm not. Yo, look, wait. Hold on. Before anybody answer, I'm not trying to put nobody in the box. It's just a question. You trust that handle?
I'm gonna have
Bro,
to.
no, bro. What I'm saying is, do I trust Diego to have a good handle right now? I think that he's somebody serious about basketball. I'm not saying he Kobe, but one of those players that's serious about working on their game outside of being on the court. You know what I mean? And I think that he did mention the lifting. He didn't mention the handle, but I'm pretty sure he knows. You know, that's one of the part of the game that he got to work on.
I'm,
He's somebody that we got to trust. Easy. We drafted him number 8 at point guard, bro. We got to start him. You got to trust him, bro. You can't stagnate him and strip his confidence
I'm
away.
not saying not trust him though. I'm not saying if I'm not saying not ride out with him because
Yeah,
it is what it is. We have the nigga. But I'm
yeah, I'm gonna
saying
trust
you
him.
trust that handle though. That's what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying.
gonna trust him, bro. And you know
I,
me, I'm big optimism. I'm gonna jump right off and say, yeah, I'm gonna trust him. Yes, I'm gonna instill
man,
confidence in
I'm,
our point guard. I'm not gonna take anything away from him. He gotta prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You want to be a bad player?
I'm a
Say,
piggyback.
you know what I mean? Go ahead. But I
I'm
don't
a
think
pi-
he's gonna be a bad basketball player. I think he'll be good.
I'm a
Right?
piggyback by saying that too. But unless Nolan Trayor show that he could be a better lead guardian, I gotta trust Jago.
and that's what I'm saying right there. I don't know the roster because I feel like I should put Nolan at that one and see how it rock real quick.
I
Okay,
got
I'm.
Nolan coming off. I got him 6 man or 7th man or something like that. I think I gave him more minutes than Saraf for sure. I really didn't like Saraf, man. And when I seen him shoot the ball, he hit the other side of the rim. I mean, and it hit. It hit. I don't. Did it hit the rim?
Nah,
It's crazy,
I
bro. Like
did.
Somebody tried to convince me that
I
Sarath was
want
a
to.
top 10 player last year, bro, in the draft, bro.
He get the. I looked at his stats. I don't know why they say that. Listen, I seen what he did in college, and I seen him play the game. I think he should get the least amount of minutes out of the rookies. I think you go heavy with minutes with Wolf, Trey, and Yago the men. And when as soon as Drake Powers had healthy enough, yeah, you ease him in. You don't give him a bunch of minutes as soon as he get healthy. But you definitely, you know what I'm saying, open up the rotation for him. Fast too. I don't really want to see him do have a lot of time in the G League.
So I bust my ass and I get the least amount of minutes while a nigga that didn't even play about to get more minutes than me.
Ben Sharaf bust his ass. I wouldn't call it that. Didn't he low managed the other
You put
day?
the rock in my hands and I did what I had to do. There's a nigga that was on the team and you didn't play him and now you about to give him more
When
burn
did
than
that
me.
happen?
You
Drake
talking
Powell
about
got more burn than him.
Sharaf? No, Sharaf. I guess he had 6 assists one game. That's good. I guess he
I
just
would
I
say
don't
to,
know.
I would
He's
say,
I've been on the court. I've been on the court, my nigga. I've been on the court. I did what I and I'm
yeah, yeah,
so
you've been in the summer
why
league, but I think everything is going to be based on
everybody
training
been in the
camp.
summer league. That's the most recent opportunity I have to prove myself.
No, no, I know
Nigga not
that,
in
but
the A yet.
summer league doesn't always depict who gonna get minutes.
mm,
Even on our
mhm,
roster, it depends on how the roster is.
yeah,
I think with Drake Powell, bro, like it's gonna come down to training camp. I think it's gonna. That's
yeah.
what it's ultimately gonna come
Because
down to.
they did say he was going to make the regular season. So I don't want to be hasty, but shout out to all the Nets fans. We the
Until this
best.
team
I,
open up and you see the ball handlers not there, and then you're gonna need some ball handlers on the team. Then you're gonna think about
I,
this nigga.
hold on, we gonna see. Shout out to the Nets fans. We the best fans. I'm only closing out so I could clip the show. It's late, but shout out to all y'all. Peace, y'all. I appreciate.